Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. Right off the start, let me just say here, once again, I apologize for the low audio quality in this video. I don't have my microphone because I'm in a transitional period. I'm moving, and so my microphone is with my other material. So please forgive me for that. Bypass that. Be patient with me. I will get back in line with my equipment. But I have to do some of these videos. I just have to do some of them. Now, what I want to talk about in this video is something very interesting because I've been hearing a lot about these athletes, whether they're pro athletes or college athletes or whatever, passing out, dying, and all this other kind of crazy stuff for the last few months or several years or whatever. And there's a lot of theories going on around about why this is the case. Could it be that? You know what I'm saying? I can't say that on this video because my video might get canceled. Okay, I've had several of those videos happen before. Or is it something else? What's going on here? So what I want to do, I want to read a short article right here about someone else who apparently had some kind of cardiac arrest. Uh, and I'm going to read this short article from Breitbart News, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this because this is just really, really getting out of hand. So let's get right into this article. It says a college football player at Mississippi's Jackson State University collapsed with cardiac arrest after complaining of stomach pains on Wednesday, according to reports. Sophomore Kasim Valls reportedly began feeling ill on Tuesday night and collapsed by the following day. He was rushed to a hospital where he underwent an, quote, emergency procedure, according to his father, WLBT reported. On Thursday, Kasim Valls, the player's father, tweeted to friends and family that his son was at the University of Mississippi Medical Center and was, quote, heavily sedated after surgery. Valls added that his son is on a respirator, so his organs can rest and not work so hard. He says Valls has not reported what might have caused the stomach pains or the cardiac arrest. The student is a defensive lineman with the Jackson State Tigers after transferring from Alabama ahead of the 2022 season. And that's the end of that article right there. Now, this is interesting. It's very interesting because, like I said, there's a lot of reports that I've been hearing from different sources saying that a lot of these athletes, very fit athletes, are passing out and even dying to some extent on the field. And they're blaming that, that V on the cause of sickness among a lot of these athletes. Now, could that be the case? Look, I don't know. I really can't say, but I find it interesting that there's so many arguments being pushed to support that theory. Now, what I might want to put out there, I'm going to throw this out there. It could be that, but it could also be that a lot of these athletes in modern sports are using a lot of chemicals and a lot of additives in their foods or chemicals or whatever, or health procedures that are not as healthy as the ones in maybe like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. That a lot of these, foods and stuff got GMOs in them and all kinds of different chemicals in them. And I can only assess that a lot of these new health procedures or health drinks or whatever, could be contributing to a lot of the downfalls. It's just a small theory that I'm coming up with, because I don't want to jump right out and say it's the V. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting that the mainstream news will not really emphasize the V. They won't really emphasize that. They won't really emphasize or talk about the actual cause of these people dying like this. I find it interesting too to bring this up too on the same note that the singer and pop artist Irene Cara, we know that she passed away a few months ago. Now, apparently, I was reading an article that stated that they finally discovered why she died, and I think it had to do with cancer, some kind of cancer or whatever, either cancer or something. I can't remember what it was, but I got to thinking, I was like, it took them that long to find that out. It was some kind of complication. I'm like, it took them that long to find out something that simple. Why would you delay the autopsy procedures for so long? I mean, she just died suddenly because apparently she died in her sleep. So she just died suddenly, and it didn't make sense to me. I felt, now this is just what I felt, that the article was hiding what may have contributed to Irene Cara's death. Now, I'm not trying to throw any theories out there, not or conspiracy theories or whatever, but let's be realistic. Some conspiracy theories are worth looking into. A theory is not something that you should just reject because it's a theory. He said that's a theory. I mean, it can't be proven. Yes, it can't be proven, but you can't just reject it because theories are based on certain facts and data. Okay, and what happens is that the individuals doing the research, they come up with a synopsis or some kind of opinion of why this situation is occurring. That's what a theory basically is in summation. It's like, well, I can't prove this, but I think it may be this. Like the theory of evolution. I totally reject the theory of evolution. It's totally ludicrous, because it's been, in fact, the theory of evolution has been debunked, although some people still go on by it. But it's a theory. What is it? But the theory is based on actual factual data. You see, and so therefore, Charles Darwin, the creator of the theory of evolution, came up with that theory that we as humans evolved from some kind of primeval slug, slime, and then we became a tadpole, and the tadpole became a monkey, and whatever nonsense. It was a bunch of nonsense. But it's a theory based on facts and data. Same principle here. So theories or conspiracy theory per se are theories that should not be completely rejected simply because it's a theory. You should still look into it because it is based on some data. And quiet as it may be told, a lot of so-called conspiracy theories in the past are now becoming conspiracy facts. See, are now becoming conspiracy. For example, the idea of a new world order or one world government. That's no longer a theory anymore. People are starting to open, their eyes are starting to open, and they're starting to see that that's a fact. And you got people like Biden and others, not just Democrats, but you got some Republicans that are pushing for a one world global government. What has been often called the New World Order. That's no longer a theory. It's a fact now. It's a conspiracy, but it's a fact. Okay? It's a conspiracy fact. But anyway, this is interesting. I find this interesting. And so far, according to the article, the young man is okay. He hasn't died or anything. But it just seems crazy that all of these athletes are falling out on the field, either dying or falling gravely ill or so forth. I mean, just recently, the football player that passed out, that collapsed on the field. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't remember his name because I don't watch football that much anymore. I basically stopped watching football. But I've read articles and seen bits and pieces from other videos about this young man, and he did pass out on the field, just collapsed back, basically, was gone for quite some time. The theory is that his falling out on the field may have been caused, or at least this, aggravated his falling out, because a lot of people that made commented on the idea that, hey, this is what's happening. This is why he collapsed, because too many of these athletes are collapsing on the field. Now, just recently he had an interview, and according to one particular YouTuber, basically cited that they're hiding something, that this football player is hiding something. He's hiding that, that may have contributed to him collapsing on the field. Just saying. Because if you think about it, if the mainstream media and the liberal left, okay, and the mainstream media admits that this is the cause of these athletes just passing out and dying and all this other kind of stuff, not just here in America, but in other countries, okay? that if this is the cause of it, it could provoke more and more people not to get it. And if it provokes more and more people not to get the weed, okay, then that's going to be a problem monetary wise. Because insurance companies not going to pay the pharmaceuticals, they're not going to get their money, and they don't like that. You know, it's all about money among other things too. Okay, but I just wanted to say that that's what I think it could be. It could be that, but it could also be certain foods that a lot of these athletes are eating that they weren't. A lot of these certain foods or certain chemicals rather, or health foods that a lot of or health drinks or whatever that a lot of these athletes are using today that they weren't using many decades ago. And it's causing problems for them. So it could be any of these things. But I find it interesting that this keeps happening. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all and see you again.